What up, boys? What up, boys? How we doing?
What's up?
What's going on?
Back here in the lion's den.
Yeah, boy.
That's right.
I tell the Mainer to roar, but he's not here.
The Mainer?
Nope, he's over. He must be off at the what's that place where you take your pet to get the groomers? He must be off at the groomers. You know what I'm saying? Getting declawed.
There's the Mainer.
Actually, he's off in Maine right now, and I told him I'm shopping in my shares while he's gone. So if he comes back wearing a wool sweater, we're gonna have some real problems. That's a bad idea, Mike.
Oh, bad idea.
Oh man, poor Mainer.
He's assured me that he's going to come back, and he talked about bringing some lobsters.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, nice.
You guys want to get in on the deal? Let him know because he said he wants to meet. I love his enthusiasm. He gets these ideas of bringing back lobsters, but he always wants me to cook them.
I was just going to ask if you was going to cook them again.
Yeah, he's going to Monday night at my house. He's talking about having a lobster boil.
Oh,
Mike, the great idea guy.
Oh, he's always got great ideas for my house.
Even if
he
he ain't
invites
going to be there.
everybody over to your house and then can't show up.
He's like, hey, let's have a movie night. I'll be there an hour and 40 minutes late. I was the one that had the movie. My bad. That some bitch gets me more shit, I swear.
That and I invited 3 homeless guys from the McDonald's to come.
Yeah. People on listen to this podcast probably think that's far-fetched, but no, it's not. Mike
is not.
Mike would be down at the local 7-Eleven. Hey, brother, we're having a movie night at my buddy John's house. You want to come over?
Little brother
Here's his address.
Little brother did that one time.
Yeah, picked up that old boy Mickey D's. I mean, bro, he's got like writing all over his clothes and his arms. I mean, what made you think that this is a good dude to pick up?
Yeah, writing, not tattoo, Sharpie. Sharpie writing.
Yeah, he had a Sharpie.
Oh my God, that was interesting.
Story
I'd
of
like
my
to take
life.
this opportunity to welcome all our brothers and sisters in Belgium.
Whoa.
Ooh, I'd come up with some kind of accent, but I don't know how to do a Belgian accent. Do you?
Nope.
And I've already pissed off the people in England.
I
I'm
don't know how
not
to do a
gonna-
Belgian accent.
I'm not going to screw up the Belgians, so they're going to be really pissed off at me. I already got the English now.
All I can say is cheers and chug. That's it.
G'day, governor.
They got some good Belgian beer.
Back to you, Johnny.
I'll tell you what, man. I mean, the Irish, my wife had a friend that just got back from Ireland. She brought back some chocolate with Guinness in it.
Nice.
I got a little word of the wise to the Irish. Stick to the beer, okay? Guinness does not belong in chocolate.
No. Guinness itself is good, though.
Yeah.
I love me some Guinness.
It's just weird. It's like, I don't know, it's a little strange. Yeah, Freddie over there got a little something going on there.
Little Guinness caramel.
Yes,
Chocolate by Guinness.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, stick with a beer. Stick with a beer.
Stick with a beer.
Stick with the beer.
That's like a 3-course meal in a can over there. You know, it's like you know what they call an Irish 7-course meal?
What's that?
6-pack and a baked potato.
I like it.
Yeah,
I'd do it. I could do that.
Yeah,
No problem, man.
you got some Irish roots down there, don't you? That are boil.
You know I do.
Got some of that there wee little, we won't go any further, but Reno Ray's got the wee little something.
He's got the weed little.
The little weed?
Something like that. Something to do with a leprechaun in me pants.
The Irish grow weed?
Yeah, wee. No, that's the French.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
I've heard of
Yeah, that's right. Who gives a shit?
I've heard of purple haze.
Yeah,
What's the Irish got? The red blaze?
I
Or
don't
something?
know. Something green. You ain't seen red since you was 16. Shut up, boy.
There's still some hiding underneath that gray. Just
Gray
a little
shit,
bit.
That ain't no gray. That's like tinsel, boy. What are you talking about?
Oh,
There's some hiding underneath there.
They call you the silver fox.
So I just shave it, man.
Yeah, just see.
Get rid of it all. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, who gives a shit?
who does give a shit?
How you like that segue?
I love it. But Freddie already threw it out there. You missed it. Who gives a shit?
Oh, man.
And it's funny that you say that, and we keep on saying it. The listeners probably go, "Why do you keep saying that?" Well, that's the topic of discussion tonight.
That's it.
Who gives a shit? That's what we want to talk about because
right.
we live in a culture today where we think everybody gives a shit about what we doing and what we got. And I got news for you. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the truth be told, nobody gives a shit.
Nope. They sure don't.
I was putting together a few stats trying to figure out, Oh, yeah, that's a Debbie Downer, baby. You're pretty right on it with a button over there. But, as I was putting these stats together, I was thinking about, Americans in general, because, there's another term we've done on another podcast. We talked about keeping up with the Joneses, right?
Yep.
And this is more or less talking about the mindset that we have, worrying about so much about what other people think.
Exactly.
I mean, you guys realize that 77% of Americans are 58,000 plus in debt.
And that's just like credit cards and stuff.
That's not even including their house.
I got to thinking about that. That can't even include the cars.
No.
With the price of cars today, that's got to be just like credit card debt.
No, man, that's just Xboxes.
Oh, geez. On the credit card.
I mean, the number one reason for most Americans being in debt is a house.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about, this other debt is just the number two reason, lifestyle.
Lifestyle. Keep up with the Joneses.
Gotta have that lifestyle, boy. You know what I'm saying?
You got a front.
You know what I'm saying? Like we got to worry about what everybody sees us. You know, hey, what car is he driving? You know, what kind of bling is he sporting? You know, what kind of drip has he got on him?
Man, I'm sitting here thinking about how ass backwards I am.
Dude,
I moved out of a freaking neighborhood, a nice neighborhood. You know, everybody's got their pretty large.
Well, ain't nobody accused you of being smart, Ray. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I moved,
you are a redneck.
Well, that's just how much I don't give a shit. I mean, I moved out of what people would call the American dream to go live in a freaking double wide on
nature, man. You're content.
Your wife's the queen of your double wide trailer.
That she is.
Polyester curtains and a redwood deck.
Oh,
yeah. She wasn't happy. She still gets mad when I sing that at her.
Well, now it's a reality. Before it was just a joke.
Now, instead of I'll make
she thought she was bullshitting her before. Now she knows you for real.
More like she's strange, and I like it.
Yeah.
Instead of telling her I'll make her the queen, I tell her I've made you the queen.
She's got to have a little tinge of the crazy in her too for following your ass. I'll tell you,
dude. That's what keeps it fun, bro.
Yeah, no kidding.
You got to have a little crazy.
You got to have a tinge of the crazy.
Oh man, I was looking at other statistics. 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck.
Ooh.
60%.
And here's the thing: is everybody wants to jump the gun and say that's because of the pay rate.
Yeah, bull to the shit on that one.
Well, because then you just said what was it, 90% or
90% of Americans live beyond their means.
Yeah. So how is it the pay rate? You spend.
It's the lifestyle, right?
You spend less than you make, and I watch a lot of these younger people with the Uber Eats and all this crap. They're literally eating out 3, 4, 5 times a week, they're conditioned to eat out. It's amazing.
Well, this is a telling tale, right? This tells it all right here. The number one reason for Americans being in debt, right, is because they want to fit in with their peers.
No.
That's the number one reason. When you start looking at all the statistics and looking up why are people in debt, they want to fit in with their peers. Going back to keeping up with the Joneses. Like, I got to be honest with you, bro. I mean, I see my neighbors and stuff. They come in and out of the house. Hey, what's up? I don't give a shit what they got going on in their house. I don't.
No, me neither.
It's like, I care about what's going on in my house. I mean, they got a car. I mean, so what? It ain't my car. Hang on. I don't care what they got.
What was that percentage? What was that one?
I want which one?
The one on the light. They're trying to keep up. They're trying to.
90% live beyond their means.
Yeah. Okay. So there's 90% of people out there that are basically trying to keep up with the Joneses. They're trying to keep up with their peers or lifestyle. Was that the lifestyle one too?
Well, that's the number one reason.
Okay.
Number one reason why they're in debt is because they want to keep up with the peers or
the lifestyle.
The lifestyle.
Okay, so that's got to be the 90% basically, right? So here you go. So that means that there's only 10% of the people out there living within their means in said lifestyle, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the other 90% are just spending money they don't have, and that 10% don't give a shit.
Well,
they don't care what you got.
Well, we got to be real now, Ray. We live in a culture where it's all about how you feel. And I mean, I feel like
I feel broke.
I feel like I should be driving a nicer car, and I feel like I should have nicer clothes, and I feel like I should be in a bigger house, and I feel like, well, you know what? I mean, your ass is writing checks, your body can't cash. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're over there trying to live beyond what you got, and nobody gives a shit. You know what the funny part about this whole thing is? And I fell into this trap too, because I'm going to be transparent, because I think that's important, right? When I left the projects at the age of 19, I said, you know what? I'm going to go in the United States military, and I'm going to show everybody, right? I'm not just some bum from the projects. I'm going to make something out of myself. I'm going to show them, And every time I came home after the first couple times, it was like, you know what I started to realize? Nobody gives a shit. It's like, not only do they not give a shit, the better you're doing, the more pissed off they get. It's like, dude thinks he's all that. Dude thinks he's better than me. Dude's always trying to show off. It's like, so
Hey,
I don't really feel like it.
that's some shit.
Hey, I actually just thought of somebody who actually gives a shit. The banks, the credit card people, the ones who are sitting there charging you 20% interest on everything that, all the money you're spending that you don't have.
Ray, every kiss begins with K, man. Every kiss.
I know where you can stick that kiss.
Hey, you know what the funny part of it is?
What was that?
Is that we talk bad about millennials, but it's our generation that's the worst in debt. Our generation has the biggest amount of debt.
Yeah.
Between the ages of 40 and 55, I think it was Gen Zs. Is that we are Gen Xers? Or what?
We're Gen X.
Gen Xers. Gen Xers have the largest amount of debt.
Really?
You know? But it's indicative because you think about it. I mean, we've created this entitled culture. These kids that have come up that feel entitled, they came from us.
Yeah.
I mean, let's keep it 100.
But,
I mean, we got to keep it on the real here.
Man.
So, it was like, we want to point the finger at everything and everybody else, but the reality of it is our generation is the one that's trying to keep up with the Joneses, because we got taught what? The American dream, the house, the white picket fence, the 2.5 kids, the dog,
2.5 kids.
Two cars in the driveway, you know what I'm saying?
Well, our generation was married on, that was the status, what you drove, where you worked, how long you been there. That actually mattered then.
Huh.
I had a really interesting conversation with my daughter the other night. And she's like, I don't know what's up with these women. Like, why are they so like hell-bent on, making their own way and having these careers and making all this money? She goes, I just want to be a wife and have children and raise my kids. She's like, I don't know what's happened. Like, why has that become a bad thing? And I'm like, that's a damn good question. I said, but if we're going to be fair, a lot of dudes screwed it up.
Yeah.
A lot of dudes screwed it up because instead of respecting and honoring their wives for doing those roles, too many men look down on them for it. You know? There's something to be said about that. I mean, when you have somebody else raising your kids, that's not good. And we live in a culture today because of this debt situation, 2-income families, man, where mom and dad ain't home. The kids are at school or at daycare.
And that's trying to keep up with a lifestyle that they feel I feel like, you know what I mean?
Well, if I don't take little Johnny to soccer practice, karate practice, band, and, drama, then I'm not a good mom. I'm not a good dad. If I don't buy him the best clothes and give him all the best game systems, I'm not a good parent.
But the problem is they're both working and they got to have the neighbor take them to soccer practice and band and all that crap because they're never there.
And all they're doing is throwing shit at them, right?
Yeah.
And then we wonder why we're in a situation we're in, right? We don't have any loyalty.
Somebody else is raising the kids.
Because, mom and dad are out. And
But-
then what are we teaching the kids? That's what you do. You work your ass off and you...
What'd you say last week, Ray? If you don't raise your kids, you'll raise your grandkids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you don't raise your kids, you're going to raise your grandkids. Yep. But the thing, too, that, a really big picture that I'm looking at is this is all by design. It honestly is. There's I'm trying not to be too conspiracy theorist.
I don't want to hear that. You just tell it like it is, Ray. Just tell them.
That
Cut it loose.
Yeah.
Cut it loose.
Go, Ray, go.
Go.
the banks, the entertainment industry, and the politicians want us in debt. They want us enslaved to them.
Your FICO score goes up.
Yeah.
The more debt you have, the higher score you get.
And then they want you to depend on them, the bank. Depend on, I can't make, I need my credit cards. I need this. You need the government's, what are those, the checks they wanted to give out?
Stimulus.
You need this.
Because you get stimulated when you receive it.
So I honestly feel that the government is creating this problem, bringing the banks and all these big corporations into the government to say, hey, how can we get money from you and you benefit from it?
Well, instead of, why they called it a stimulus check, right?
Why?
Because they couldn't use the word happy. That'd be too obvious. We're trying to make you happy. Here's a check.
Yeah.
No, instead we're going to give you a stimulus.
Well, a lot of people are
Stimulate
having to
your
sell their
feelings.
houses because they can't afford the insurance. This crazy stuff that's going on with homeowners insurance.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of that too. I mean, my daughter's in that industry, and part of the issue is false claims.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there trying to do false claims with these insurance companies, and some of them just can't keep up with it. you
Right.
know? That's part of the issue, not the whole issue, but that's part of it. But you think about it. You spend your whole life, you spend all this money into your insurance company. The first time you use it, they want to drop you.
Yep.
Yep.
But what I was getting at is, are the generations, ours included, ourselves included, are falling into this trap. Every commercial out there, you deserve this, you deserve that. If you're going out and buying a freaking $5-6 coffee every day, you're falling into the traps. You're not keeping up with anybody. Nobody gives a shit except for the people that are taking your money. They're the only ones that truly give a shit, period. You can go buy a bag of coffee at the grocery store for $3 and you can get, 20, 30 cups of coffee out of it, but you'd rather drive through a freaking coffee shop and spend $6 on a mocha latte frappuccino with a half thingy thing. You know what I mean?
Grande.
Right.
Grande.
Every freaking day.
I always tell kids.
Every day.
Chocolate lattes.
So what I'm saying is if you're falling for this, you're a sucker. You're being a sucker, man. You're just falling right into their trap.
Some people, quite honestly, you get what you pay for it. If you can afford it, that's one thing. I'm not going to hate on somebody who's got the money who can do it.
Right. But what we're saying.
But most people, based upon these stats, they can't.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. They would always say, like, smoking. You know who smoked? The poor people smoked.
Oh, yeah. And that's who gambles a lot, too.
Yeah.
You look at the demographics, the highest gambling and smoking and alcohol and drug uses are in the impoverished areas.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is, guys, look deep, man. Look in your freaking wallet. Look in your bank account. Look at your credit card statements, man. If you're spending all this crap money just to keep up with everybody, nobody cares except for the people who are taking your money, your hard-earned money.
Here's another point to be made, too. If you're hanging out with people that do care, you're hanging around with the wrong people.
Right. Well, that's
the other thing. Like, I see people, like women especially, not hating on the ladies, but I'm going to keep it 100. You got your Louis Vuittons and your Michael Kors and all this shit that you want to make sure that people can see that name on it because in your mind, that brings you value.
Yeah.
Wrong. I can tell you right now, from a male's perspective, man don't give a damn what kind of purse you're carrying or what kind of watch you got on, because he ain't looking at your clothes. You know what I'm saying? He's looking at the beauty of the aesthetics of who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't look at a girl and go, oh man, she's hot, she's wearing Gucci.
And here's the funniest thing is that, funny ironic in my eyes, is that, say you and I are acquaintances, right? And you want to go buy a $5 coffee, and I think, I got to go buy a $5 coffee. And I go buy a pair of shoes, and you think, I got to go buy a pair of shoes. We're really, neither one of us give a shit what you buy or what you wear, but we're both thinking that each other gives a shit, and we're willing to put ourselves in extraordinary debt for it.
Yeah, I'm so thankful that I don't hang around with people like that. Because if your brothers, your sisters, or whatever, they something good happens in their life, you should always be happy for
Hell
it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But to sit there and covet what other people got,
yeah,
you're pretty shallow. You need to grow the frig up. Come on.
Yeah.
Here's my redneck ass. My neighbor gets a new boat. I'm like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, I got a boat.
Nice boat, man.
It's like I was telling Emmanuel when he got his tax bud, I go, man, we got some money, boy. We got some money. What are we going to spend our money on?
Dude, I always tell him, dude, I'll gladly put $50 in the gas tank of that boat if we go fishing or if we go skiing. I ain't paying that freaking $1,200 a month.
What do I need a boat for? My buddy's got one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know me, dude. I'm about redneck.
Why do I need to go to a range when I can go to a race house?
Right?
Exactly.
It's just, why go to the theater when you come over to my house and watch the movie up in my man cave? That's what friends do. You just, whatever you got, you share it. It's not about, come over here and look at what I got because I'm the man.
The Mainer shares it.
Whether the Mainer shows up or not, he's sharing your shit.
Oh, yeah, he's sharing my shit with everybody.
Dude, I just thought about this podcast. We're going to have to go back and count how many times we say shit.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it is in the title.
We want to make sure we get it a point across.
Get the point across.
Let that sink in real deep because this is some real shit.
But man, yeah, honestly, I really hope everybody out there listening just takes a little look inside, man, and look at it. Look at, if I was living where I live and I was driving a $100,000 Ford F-250, my shit's backwards, bro. know.
And there's some people living like that though, right? There's some people that'll drive a $100,000 car and live in a $50,000 house.
Yeah, Dave Ramsey said that, man.
There's guys out there that'll put a $20,000 watch on their wrist, and they're living in a 1-bedroom apartment because they think in their mind that watch is impressing somebody. I mean, I got to be one of the most ignorant sons of bitches, because I don't even know who half these people are, these brands. Like I have you can walk by me and have a watch on that costs you $100,000. I wouldn't even know, dude.
I ain't gonna know.
I don't give a damn.
I don't
care either.
I ain't looking at your wrist. I ain't looking at your feet. I
don't want to be in those circles.
Nope. Me, dude, I'm watching your eyeball, seeing what you looking at.
Johnny
what you
already
planning.
knows what time it is.
It's like, well, yeah, you think about it. I mean, the time. Speaking of time, I mean, that's the most valuable commodity that we have, and that's the one thing that you want to share the most with the people you care about the most.
Yeah,
and those people don't care about what you got; they care about who you are.
Yep, that's it exactly, dude.
And the reason why we want to talk about this is because it's sad that there's so many people. I mean, there are people out there taking their lives because of this shit. I mean, they're so caught up, the social media aspect of all this, and we've brought this to the forefront a few times. I mean, people live in this lie trying to impress people with these selfies and these vacations, and I got this and I did that. And, people want to air out their grievances or their problems in their marriage. It's like, dude, nobody gives a shit about all that. I mean, if you got something you want to share, you should do that privately. And I'm just going to tell you right now, if you're a dude and you're airing out your shit on Facebook or Instagram or something, you need to grow up.
Yeah.
I mean, you should never, first of all, ever talk bad about your wife anyway to anybody anyway.
Right.
And there's a difference between having conversations with your brothers about your marriage or your relationship and talking bad about your wife. And you most certainly should never do something like that on Facebook or Instagram or whatever the hell what are the platforms.
Here's the thing. If you're throwing
TikTok.
If you're throwing it out there on social media, you're not looking for help. You're not looking for answers. You're not looking to better yourself. You're looking for attention.
And that's what this is all about, right?
Right. It's all it is you're just looking for attention. So it's not only just a financial
thing. This is just, attention in itself. I mean, we are an attention-starved culture.
Yep.
I mean, people have got a platform now where they can air out their grievances or their thought. It's like everybody's got an opinion on something. They want to make sure they can share it, And we got to make sure that as dudes, we set the tone.
Right.
We don't get caught up in this bullshit. Like, I care about the type of my daughter and I were talking the other day, and she says, "Yeah, Dad, we were talking about hotels or something," and she said, "Yeah, I'm looking about doing a weekend trip, and we're looking at this hotel." And I said, "Well, that's a nice hotel. I mean, it's pretty spendy." She's like, "Yeah, what are you talking about? You wouldn't stay in a cheap hotel." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't." And she goes, "Yeah." I go, "But see, the difference is I could personally stay in a cheap hotel, but I'm not taking my wife and my children to a cheap hotel."
Right.
I said, "There's a difference between laying your mother down and you kids down on on some sheets that I got questions of who's the last person been on them." You know what I'm saying? And myself, I grew up with nothing. I mean, I could sleep on the floor. I don't give a shit.
Right.
But, I mean, the thing is, you want to do better. You want better for the people you care about.
Well, and it's not
to impress people.
Yeah. Well, and it's not just that, but you being established can afford a nicer hotel. If you're making $15-16 an hour and you're wanting to do this weekend, you want to do it really bad, find the cheapest place you can stay.
I mean, everything's relative, right?
Everything's
if you can
relative.
afford it, that's one thing. But what we're talking about is living beyond your means and doing it to impress other people. Like
Right.
If I'm staying at, this fancy schmancy 5-star hotel just so I can tell my friends I stayed there, and I'm paying $500-600 a night
That you can't afford.
I got a friggin' head problem.
Yep.
I got an insecurity problem, a head problem, and a maturity problem.
Right.
And sometimes that sickness goes a step further, man. They try to play the one-up game,
Oh, yeah. He got a 24-foot boat. I got a 28-foot boat.
I got a 28-foot boat.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And that's
You know,
a sickness.
we had him in here a long time ago on the battle, one of my neighbors, and I love them to death. They do very well for themselves, and he'll go out. He actually did this. He went out and bought a $4,500 boat. He could easily have gone out and paid cash for a new, nice boat. But he's like, I'll use it maybe 5-6 times a year on average. Why am I going to go dump 50 grand on a boat that I'm going to use 5 or 6 times a year? Found a nice used boat, did the upholstery, had a tenth of what he was going to spend in it, and he uses it 5 or 6 times a year. I'm like, that isn't, he doesn't give a shit about what anybody thinks.
Yeah, he shouldn't.
Who
cares?
But that's what I'm saying is you can have money and still not give a shit.
Well, most people that have money are smarter with money. That's why they got it.
Yeah, that's why they got it.
It's the people that never have money that run into some money. They don't know what the hell to do with it. They say most lottery winners are broke within a year or two.
Yep.
That just takes a man that's secure in who he is.
But that's what we're talking about right there. Is we set the tone. John said it earlier.
That you hit the nail on the head. It's about security. When you're secure in who you are, one of the things we talk about here on the podcast a lot is being self-aware, right? When you're self-aware, you don't need to worry about oppressing other people.
Right.
So I guess at the end of the day, when we're sitting here wrapping this whole thing up and we're putting all these different things out there, the bottom line is that no one gives a shit. You're sitting back stressing out, worried about what other people think, getting caught up and trying to keep up with the Joneses, and you want to make sure that you have you put out the right the perception of people that are around you. You're faking it on Facebook. That's why they call it fake book. You're putting out things on Instagram. You're trying to act like you got this life and you're drowning. It's like, reminds me of that old commercial, the guys on the riding lawnmower, got the big house, got the big yard, and he's driving around, got the boat in the yard, and he's driving around mowing his grass, and he stops, and everybody says, "Oh, you got the big house, you got the big yard, you get the big boat." He says, "Yeah, and I'm in debt up to my ears." And some of you out there, man, you're drowning. You're drowning. The problem is you just keep pouring more water in the boat. You ain't taking water out of the boat. You keep putting more water in it. And for what? To impress people that don't care? And you know what the sad thing is, man, is that a lot of times we focus so much on impressing other people, we lose sight of the people that are right in front of us. We lose sight of our wives. We lose sight of our children. We lose sight of our family, our brothers, you know what I mean? The people that we hang around with, because we want so desperately to be something that we're not. And that's why when you look at a lot of people that have a lot of shit, they're miserable. They got to ask a lot of tough questions like, do these people really care about me, or do they care about what I got? Because I'm going to tell you something right now, and I'm going to let you in on a little secret. What you got doesn't make you who you are. And if you're hanging around with people that care about what you got, you better get away from them. You better run like hell, because those people are going to drag you to a place that you really don't want to be. That's a life of misery. It's going to be a life of disappointment, frustration, and a lot of insecurity. Be self-aware. Understand who you are as a man. Take care of your families. Take care of the people that are around you, and be true to yourself. Because when you do that, my friends, well, hell, that's where the rubber meets the road.